Okay, so today I'm going to try to show you how to tie a pretty simplistic March brown fly. These are a great dry fly early in the season. I fish these May and June, basically in the Adirondacks up north. Here is a somewhat finished one. Now the problem, or not problem with this one, is you want your tail to be up off of that hook shank there. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. I do not tie wings or excess wings on here. There's another or a lot of people out there that will tie two wings above the fly on the top here. I just use the hackle to represent the wings. I think the fish is looking from obviously below the fly. If you want to tie in extra wings on the top, that's great. They look great from the top, but as far as the fish are concerned, I feel like it's unnecessary bonus to the fly, but to each their own. So let's get started. Basic thread I use, you can use any brown or gold color. I have a size 14 Daiichi here with this. It's like a golden thread. I believe this is a 140. I used the ginger dubbing for the body, which will be tapered. You can use any dark brown, any gold to dark brown would work. Here is your tail. You want to just use a couple, maybe just 3 or 4 of these. You don't want too many. I feel like too many is kind of overkill. Less is better always when tying flies. Try to keep that in mind. And as a rule of thumb, always remember to keep the eye of that hook open. You don't want any material in there. Total pain in the ass. So to get started, you start your thread, wrap all the way back on the shank, come back up. Then I usually stop around halfway. You want to take just a couple of these fibers off of the feather here. Usually try to get 3 or 4. That's good. Well, might need one more here. Again, I just think less is more. As long as that the presentation, you want that silhouette from underneath looking like a tail. And again, you want the tail to be about the same size as that hook shank is. So we get these tied in. Try to keep the material on the top of the hook. Wrap those back. You can cut off this excess like so. So when I go back, I try to lift the tail, go underneath, do another wrap. I do this twice to try to get it off of the hook, just so it looks a little more natural in the water when the fish sees it. So once you are at this point, you want to add your dubbing, which again is this ginger. Less is more again. You want to use thinner dubbing at first. You can always add more later, but you can't really take it off once it's on there. And you don't need too much. You're basically trying to build a tapered body. So when you spin your dubbing on here, if it's a little fuzzy, you can just kind of wet your fingers with a little spit there. And you want to try to tighten this up as much as you can. You can also secure this as you go with the thread. I'll show you that in just a sec. So what you want to do is you want to get started around the back or right at the base here. And like I said, you want to have that tapered just to about the middle, just to about right here. So you don't really want to go much further with your dubbing. So you can just kind of take this off. Again, secure it with a little spit, tighten it up, and then finish that right there because you need a tie-in point for your hackle. Now I use this hackle, all different colors, all different sizes. I try to find one that's a darker brown and one that is white or a combination here with the white and the gold. And what I do is I tie them in at the same time and wrap them at the same time. Helps cut down on time and they look great on the water. So once those are secured, you only need to do a couple turns with these. So you grab both your feathers, you do 1, 2, and that's it. Then you want to tie these in. So what I do is I try to go once behind, pull them back, do once in front, Now you'll notice there's a few hairs in front here. Don't worry, you can snip those off later. Cut those back just enough to get them off. And then what you do is, whoa. All right, I'm going to start this over. Take this off. Again, secure it with a little spit, tighten it up, and then finish that right there, because you need a tie-in point for your hackle. Now I use this hackle, all different colors, all different sizes. I try to find one that's a darker brown and one that is white, or a combination here with the white and the gold. And what I do is I tie them in at the same time and wrap them at the same time. Helps cut down on time, and they look great on the water. So once those are secured, you only need to do a couple turns with these. So you grab both your feathers, you do 1, 2, so you go around 2 times and tie that off. I usually go behind it, pull it back, go back in front, a couple turns, snip that off close. There's 1, there's 2, and now you want to secure your hackle from the front. You want to tie from the eye back. This creates a little bit of, I guess, kind of looks like the head of the fly, but try not to capture too many of those fibers so that stays nice and fluffy down there. And then all you have to do is whip finish. Whip finishing with these is a little tricky because you're trying not to catch those fibers. If you do like I am and you pull them over the top of that hook, the eyelet, you can always snip those off later. So once you get a couple turns in there, you want to secure that. Like I said, snip off these extra, like so. Cut off your thread, and you are good to go. So there it is.